Absolutely. And one team that's not trying to build the championship team, they're trying to rebuild, right? Is the Arizona Cardinals in the NFL as we segue to the NFL here because we got breaking news a couple days ago, right? I won't say breaking news, but it was breaking news at the time.
Correct.
Obviously, it could be deemed as old news because the way how the media operates, they'll cover this back and forth to the point where it feels like it's old 2 or 3 days later, right?
Mhm.
So let's talk about this old story right now, which is new for us. Where is DeAndre Hopkins' best fit after after getting released by the Arizona Cardinals? That's one part of the question, right? And where would he ultimately sign? Where will he ultimately sign? So it's a two-part question.
Mhm.
And Zay, once again, if you want to start us off, by all means.
Well, I think for me, the best fit for him to go to is the Baltimore Ravens. I think that was the best opportunity for him in a sense where Lamar Jackson is primed to be a thrower first. He talks about he wants to be more passing plays than running plays. He's focused on getting the ball out to his receivers. I think putting D Hop with OBJ with the rookie Zay Flowers, I think that would be a dynamic trio right there because you get Zay Flowers is only going to absorb all of that information from OBJ and DeAndre Hopkins. Just knowing how they play, practicing with them every day, he's only going to get better. But D Hop also has a great opportunity to really showcase what the Ravens are in the AFC. I think you could put them up there as a team that could likely win a championship with the KCs, the Buffaloes, the 49ers, Eagles. Like, you put the Ravens in that category in conversation because of how dynamic that offense could be with D-Hop, OBJ, and Lamar Jackson, all fully healthy, of course. I think that's also the best fit for him because he still wants his targets. And I think outside of OBJ, there's not really much more opportunities like all the receivers, even Mark Andrews. I think D-Hop gets, first dibs. He's going to be the number one receiving option on that Ravens team if he goes there. I think the Ravens, I don't know how the contract situation would be in terms of that, because I know reports were saying that DeAndre Hopkins wants a good deal after seeing what OBJ got. So I think he wants something similar in terms of good deal and multiple years. But I think that's the Baltimore Ravens would be the I think best fit for him. Do you want me to answer where he will sign next, or that's my next slide?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Right ahead. All right. So where he will sign, I believe, is the Buffalo Bills. I think the Bills will restructure a lot of contracts, especially the Von Miller contract, that massive deal that he got like last year. I think they'll restructure a couple other guys as well to bring in DeAndre Hopkins. There's no secret that Stephon Diggs is frustrated on the lack of success in Buffalo. He feels like they should have at least been at the Super Bowl already, if not won one. And I know he's pretty ticked off that they haven't gotten there yet. So I think to appease not only Stephon Diggs, but that rest of that Buffalo Bills organization, they're going to bring in DeAndre Hopkins so that they can fulfill their goal, win the Super Bowl.
Right. I have two teams, but I'm going to go with one. I have two for the first option, but I'm going to go with one for right now. Then the second part, I'm going to go, and then I'm going to pass the rock back to you for responses. Then I'm going to go with my second team for option one. Now, as far as option one, in my option one for option one, I'm going to go with the Chargers. I think for me, a lot of it has to do with this. I have a personal preference, right? And I know a lot of us, even though a lot of us do, right? I try not to. Like, I really try to frame away from feelings when I talk sports. Like, I really try to put that to the side. And most of the time I do. Maybe every once in a while, feelings come into play, right? But I try to remain logical. Look at the cap space. Look at where he wants to go. The quarterback throwing him the football and the team interest in getting that guy in Hopkins, right? And I think for me, when you talk about my preference, I think for me, I don't want to see the rich getting richer, right? In the sense that, for example, you have Buffalo and Kansas City. I don't want to see Kansas City, who just won a Super Bowl with no number one wide receiver, get DeAndre Hopkins. A team that has hijacked the AFC West, winning it 6 straight years. I do not want to see that team that just won that Super Bowl with no number one wide receiver get D-Hop. Like, who wants to see that? That's not a Kansas City fan. Like, really? No, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see Josh Allen, who took strides this year, right? And last year, right? Almost won MVP last year, but look explosive as ever, right? They arguably ran into the Bengals with a tactician on defense, and who knows what would have happened if they, were able to win the football, right? Something that they're trying to address, that they need to address and focus on. I don't want to see them get D-Hop. I want to see a quarterback that is young with talent take that next leap. And these receivers like D-Hop can help that quarterback grow. That's what I want to see. I want to see Justin Fields get D-Hop. I want to see Justin Herbert get D-Hop. I want to see those type of guys get D-Hop, right? Unfortunately, I didn't go with the Bears. And the reason why I didn't go with the Bears is because they run the football so damn much that it won't make sense to pay D-Hop if you're not going to use him a lot. So that's why I didn't go over there. But I went with the Chargers because I know there's one quarterback in Justin Herbert who loves to throw the rock, who has a cannon of an arm, who can make all the throws across the football field from a hash to a hash. Hashtag Justin Herbert, right? That guy right there, Kellen Moore. There's a lot in store. He has a lot of food on his plate that you can't find in the store, right? And when I mean by food, I mean plays. It's like a buffet. All you can eat, all you can feast, right? I want to see him there. Imagine a wide receiving core with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, D-Hop, Quentin Johnson. Oh my gosh, right? That's a loaded wide receiving core. And Lil, isn't that kind of the rich getting richer? No, because they didn't win anything yet. And what do we know about Keenan Allen and Mike Williams? They're going to miss games. The question is, how many? And I think for me, Justin Herbert being arguably my favorite quarterback in the NFL, now that Tom Brady's retired, his development has been hindered, right? A lot of guys get injured fast over there. The nutrition staff or whatever it is, I'm not a scientist, right? Those people, they have a terrible, staff over there as far as managing injuries, right? My guy, Tyrod Taylor, almost died, got his lung punctured, right? By accident. So his development has been hindered. I thought that rinky-dink offense that my guy from Joe Lombardi's, yeah, I know I remember his name, right? That little safe and not effective, thinking, nah, open that joint up, throw that ball, get D-Hop, get that young guy. You got $12.75 million of cap space. Make it happen. As far as where I think he will sign, I do think what I don't want to see will happen. I do think he will go ring chasing. A lot of people may say money. Is it money? Is it ring chasing? I hope it's money because I do want to see money means he's probably going to go to the Jaguars, right? Even I don't know, because you got Calvin Ridley there. You got Christian Kirk, who's on a large contract. I don't know about that, but money is the Lions, right? Money is the Bears, right? Money is the Chargers that I just alluded to, but championships obviously will be Kansas City, and I don't want to see that. Like I said, them not having a number one wide receiver and still winning the Super Bowl. What the hell you think they're gonna do if they get D-Hop? I want to see it happen, but I think it's gonna happen. So I think for me, where I want to see his best fit at, or where I think his best fit is at, is the Chargers, and where do I think he ultimately will sign is Kansas City.
That was a great take. I think, the Chargers are a fantastic take. Seeing Justin Herbert and D-Hop would be out. It'll be amazing. That'd be must-see TV, for sure. I think every game should be a primetime game if that was to happen, for sure. I think you have to recalibrate everybody's primetime game and give the Chargers 16 primetime games because D-Hop and Justin Herbert is just ridiculous. You would want to see that on a night-in, night-out basis, for sure. Kansas City, again, makes sense. He wants to compete for championships. He wants to be up there with the top echelon teams in the NFL. He wants to be placed there, and I understand that completely. If I had to give a second team for a best fit, and there's an up-and-coming team, a team that's still rebuilding. They have a new culture, a new coach, a second-year coach, and they're trying to figure it out, and that's the New York Giants. I think the Giants are an opportunity for him to really just join up with a team that's still building, but could still be one of the top caliber teams in that NFC. An NFC that's wide open at that. D-Hop will solidify the resurgence of the New York Giants receiving corps. That probably did a complete 180 in just a year span. So you add a bunch of speedy receivers and then you throw in D-Hop, an unguardable one-on-one receiver that opens up everything for a young quarterback, as you was talking about before, Daniel Jones, who can still unlock another portion of his game. You know, Daniel Jones, at one point we thought he was a scrub, but we realized he had no weapons around him once Saquon went down. So now that Saquon is possibly coming back on that extension, you got a bunch of speedy receivers. Then you add a DeAndre Hopkins on top of that with a Darren Waller at that offense looks a lot scarier than it once was just last season. And then you're looking at them as teams that could possibly be over the Dallas Cowboys in standings, possibly compete with the Philadelphia Eagles in closer games than what we've seen in the past. That could be a great fit for him. Where he will sign a second team, if I had to give one, I would have to say the New York Jets. And it will put them in a status where he sees Aaron Rodgers went there. He sees that their defense could possibly still be a top-notch defense in the league. They have the weapons healthy, ready to go. And then you add D-Hop alongside of Garrett Wilson, an up-and-coming star in the making in the NFL. I saw a rankings list that's kind of outlandish, but they said he was like probably the 5th best receiver in the AFC. But that's a discussion we'll have another day in terms of that. But D-Hop could look at the Jets and say, okay, they're really making a push to the Super Bowl. I want to be part of that team. You know, I think like I said, I think it's far-fetched. Even as a Jets fan, I personally think it's far-fetched that he goes to the New York Jets because I feel like the Bills and the Chiefs, they both are like closer to a Super Bowl than the New York Jets. But if he's looking and says Aaron Rodgers is a certified quarterback in the NFL, I want to play for a quarterback who knows what he's doing. I can see me going to the Jets. I will sign with the Jets, and I can see that happening as well. And the Jets, I believe, right now currently have $18 million remaining in cap space for this season because of all of the restructures they've been doing for the contracts. So I think the Jets could be a place he will sign. The Giants should be a best fit if they were looking to add a receiver.
I mean, look, whatever was attractive to Odell Beckham Jr. about the New York Jets could be, you know, what attracts D-Hop over there. I think that's a long shot, but they are a team that is getting a lot of hype. Sometimes you follow the hype. So I won't be shocked, but like I think that would be in the back end, but I would not be shocked here tomorrow if I hear he signs with the Jets, right? But I think for me, I guess if I could give you one more best fit, I don't really have a second team where I think he's going to sign. I just think, you know, it's Kansas City, right? I think for best fit, option number 2 for me will be reuniting Deshaun Watson with D-Hop in Cleveland. And there was a report that surfaced over the weekend that he would be interested in looking into that. Now, the Browns, a lot of that will be up to them if they want to bring in D-Hop, right? And I think when you talk about the success that Deshaun Watson and D-Hop had together, that has to be attractive to all 3 parties involved there. Deshaun Watson getting another wide receiver, number 1, who you had success with, right? The Browns, who, you know, you're trying to win a championship. You need to win a Super Bowl to justify the contract that you gave Deshaun Watson, that outlier of a guaranteed contract, right? $250 million guaranteed. And D-Hop, you have a quarterback that you know you had success with. Yeah. So I think it's a good sell for all 3 parties. I think for me, when I think about it, like that will be a very, very loaded group because Zay, a couple shows ago, right? About a month ago, month and a half, possibly, right? Where do time fly? We did a show, top 3 most improved teams this offseason, right? And I didn't mention the Browns, but as time from that episode that we shot till now progressed and passed, I looked and I said to myself, yo, the Browns sneakily, quietly had a very good offseason, a very good underrated offseason, right? The pieces that they added on defense, the Elijah Moore pickup, which I thought was a steal, right? And they could cap it off with the acquiring of D-Hop. And imagine this. You have Zadarius Smith, who you just added, right, alongside Myles Garrett. So you have a dynamic duo on the defense. You can get a dynamic duo on the offense with 1B receiver, Amari Cooper, and 1B receiver, D-Hop. I think they both 1Bs, but 1B and 1B can make 1A. So I would like to see that. Yeah, I think if you're the Steelers, you would not want that to happen because your weapons will look like it's not 1999 anymore, right? And more like 1989, right? Look at your weapons compared to if D-Hop goes there. Now you're talking about all these receivers in your division. Odell Beckham Jr., T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Amari Cooper, Tyler Boyd, right? D-Hop, Elijah Moore. All the receivers compared to your outdated 1999 receivers. You don't want that to happen, but I think it should happen, and that's my option too.
You know, I think there's a lot of great options out there for D-Hop in terms of what team he wants to go to create a Super Bowl aspiration for not only himself but for the team that's contending. I know the easiest option is KC, the reigning Super Bowl champions. They've been in the Super Bowl several times already. Patrick Mahomes, solidified quarterback. You can make the argument best quarterback in the NFL right now. But you know, there's a lot of options out there for him, you know, that he could go to. And I think, you know, it's really in the mind of what he's talking about in terms of his contracts. I think right now that's the only thing that's stopping him from signing to a KC, to a Buffalo, is that he doesn't want to sign for peanuts. He's not signing for $1 million, $2 million, a vet minimum. He wants to go to a team and have a good contract and play under a good system. And that's the only thing that's really prohibiting him from signing sooner. Because I think if money wasn't an object, he would have signed already to the team of his choosing. But right now, I think it's a lot of financial obstacles that organizations like Kansas City, organizations like Buffalo need to figure out who are they willing to restructure to continue down the line. Because if they move on from guys, if they drop guys, it's dead money. That cap space is only going to shrink. So I know that's the only thing that's really stopping them from making that move. So I'm waiting patiently to see what DeAndre Hopkins does. I hope he goes to the NFC, but if he's in the AFC, it's only going to be a more stacked conference that I can't wait to watch when even training camps run around.
And last thoughts here, right? Final seconds. The Lions came up a lot. I've been seeing the Lions. I like that. That probably would have been my option number 3, right? That would have been my third out option. You know, Jamison Williams, 6-game suspension. They don't really have an outside receiver. Like they have a lot of weapons, but they don't have an outside receiver. He could play the outside. A lot of these guys that they have is slot receivers and inside receivers, like Marvin Jones, slot kind of, right? Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Slot receiver. So to get that outside weapon, that would be nice for them to have and to, you know, bring the best out of Jared Goff, right? You're going to be playing a lot of primetime games. Let's see if he's a primetime player. Give him a primetime player to become a primetime player. So I think they're good too. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. We're going to go to halftime here. And when we come back, we're going to move back to the NBA. We got some boxing talk. So make sure you stick around.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.